All right, one of the tools that lenders can use to help assist giving you some certainty that you're going to get approved is a system called Automated Underwriting System. And the Automated Underwriting System is a program that allows lenders to run these scenarios, we'll just call them to be determined scenarios, through a underwriting system, and it will underwrite the file entirely based on the information that was inputted. So the important thing here is that you get all the correct information so the lender can calculate, income and debt to income ratios and all the things that are pertinent to get the correct information inputted that is then provided and inputted to the automated underwriting system, and then that will produce a findings report, and that will, let's call it risk layering. It kind of identifies any risk in the file or whether the file is going to be approve eligible or refer eligible or refer ineligible. And by doing that, it will strengthen your ability to make an offer. So many people do this backward, and it's just it's frustrating. Okay, to get a call on a Saturday afternoon that they're putting an offer in on a house, and this is their first step into getting pre-approved. That's backwards. It's all backwards. Your best way to get yourself in a position to win an offer is get pre-approved. Have a lender that's going to go through your income, that's going to go through your assets, your funds to close, and calculate all those things so we have some certainty. You can go to a bank and get a pre-qualification just by having them pull your credit report and you tell them what you make, but that doesn't provide too much information. There's nothing, they're not going into detail on what's going on with your financial picture. All right, when you get into underwriting, they're gonna go through your whole financial picture, everything, income, assets, your credit, the collateral, the house you want to buy. So, in order to give yourself a better shot at winning the offer, be prepared. So, talk to a lender. If you're concerned about your credit, have them run that automated underwriting system, provide all those income docs, provide the assets so they can input accurate information, because the automated underwriting system, the findings report that comes out is only as good as the information that was put in. And that information needs to be verifiable. You have to verify your income is accurate. Just because you make $100,000 a year or $50,000 a year, they're going to separate the type of income that you earn. And if part of that income is base income, and then part of it's bonus income, and part of that is overtime income, there's guidelines and rules to all that stuff. So what you think your income is may not be what you can qualify with. So that's why you need to get all this up front, get it determined where you're at, what your level of ability to get approved is. Before you go out there and start looking at a bunch of houses and get so excited about the house that you want to buy, and then you find out that you can't buy it, then you get frustrated with the system. Well, because you're doing it backwards. You got to get prepared. Buying a mortgage is not like going and applying for a car loan or going down to your bank and applying for a personal loan. It's going to be a detailed financial situation where they're going to go through all of it. They're going to ask for the pay stubs. They're going to ask for the W-2s. They're going to ask for the bank statements. They're going to review those bank statements for large cash deposits, for reoccurring amounts that are going out of that account that are not reporting on credit. All of that has to be evaluated by an underwriter. So you need to get the information correct. You need to get the correct information to get the correct feedback on your ability to buy a home and what that purchase price amount looks like. And you do that by getting with a lender, a loan officer, to go through all of your finances, to go through all of your assets, to see if you qualify. Because there's nothing more frustrating as a lender or a realtor for a buyer to come into a buying situation or wanting to purchase a home and they're not ready. They get an accepted offer and they just weren't ready. That's, there's so many people have done so much work up to that point. And for the individual that's making the offer not to be prepared is unacceptable. So get out there, it doesn't cost you anything to do this. They're not going to charge you anything. Maybe some credit unions or banks, they will collect a fee up front for the appraisal, but typically, you're going to have to pay for appraisal up front. So if they collect it up front, that's fine. If you don't move forward, it's going to be refunded anyway. But what you have to understand is there's a whole lot of people get involved when you go get an accepted purchase agreement. Okay, there's lenders, there's real estate agents, there's processors. There's a whole bunch of people. So please get prepared. Go to a loan officer or a lending company. Don't get a pre-qualification, get a pre-approval. And if they can't get you to that point or they're not willing to do that work for you, go to another lender. There's tons of lenders out there that are willing to get you in a position to win the offer, because there's nothing worse than getting out there, not being prepared, not getting or getting an accepted offer and then not being able to move forward. That just the psychological effect of that is not good for anybody. The loan officer is not good for the real estate agent, and it's certainly not good for the buyers because they get frustrated and they don't understand. Well, that's why you need to get prepared first. So get with a lender, get all your income docs, get your assets, get prepared to make a strong offer. Because the real estate agent can put in that offer. The buyer has already been through underwriting and just needs a home. All of that can be put in this language in the purchase agreement to make your offer stronger. Buyer's already underwritten. Buyer's already been underwritten for the amount that they're wanting to purchase at. So that allows them to move through the process quicker. All we need is the collateral piece of the 4 parts of credit. The 4 C's that you need when you go to apply. You just need the collateral. All the other 3 pieces have been taken care of because you took the time to get yourself approved, pre-approved to purchase a home, to know that you can move forward and you have some certainty in order to do that. So, automated underwriting systems with lenders is a great tool to help give you what you need to know to make a strong, solid offer and to give you the best chance to win that offer. All right, James Lawler, have a great day.